It's the Jim Fannon Show. We've come to take your mind.
Am I still on? Primo is my guest. This is the Jim Fannon Show. Buckle in, welcome aboard. I gotta get the music off so the next song doesn't play, even though it's Want Some by X Factor. Rob Primo, here's where you get him on the fake book. Here's where you get him on the TikTok. Yeah, he TikToks, of course. Here's where you get Primo, the Cremo, and the Twatter. Here's where you get him on the Instagram. There's where you get him on the Telegram. And then I'll hit up the official Patriot Gearbox, too. Gear site. What up, Preem? We haven't even talked, man. Like, it's been quiet. Everyone's been kind of quiet. I've been quiet. We're busy doing our own thing. I think some of us got a little bit of burnout. Some of us feeling a little, Shandor was on the other day. He's feeling a lot of PTSD. Like, you forget that, some of us has gone through some shit on this whole ride. Like, even if you just take the lockdowns and everything out of it, like social media and bad news, and like I'm right in the soup with you too. So how are you feeling, first of all?
I'm hanging in there, but I'm definitely feeling what you're talking about with Shandor, how he feels some PTSD from everything we've been through with this whole situation and what continues to go on with the powers that be. I'm sure we'll get into it shortly, but I should be pretty happy today, and I am happy with what happened. But at the same time, it's like tomorrow's a new fight. It seems like it's just never ending right now at this point.
This whole thing has made me crystallize my motivation, and you can look at turning points. And I'm fatherless, okay? Just the way it's worked out so far. I mean, I always thought I'd have a little Jimmy or a couple kids. Way long ago, Just hasn't worked out. And the more I think of it, the more, it's not strange. It's just like I have a passion for kids that goes beyond most people I know, even with children, And it's all about the kids for me, man. Like Shandor's kid, when I met him, and he talked to me about 8 months in a mask and how that would affect him at a year and a half old or a year and a bit old. And this kid is he's the Gerber baby, man. He's perfect. And that changed everything for me. So I can't imagine, having my own offspring that I'm seeing being tortured with masks and mandates and lockdowns and Zoom meetings, and I can't even begin to experience what you've gone through as a concerned parent, and everyone else too. I mean, there's a great deal of people that have kids. You know what I mean? Like almost everyone. Hello, that's what you do. So tell me a little bit about your motivation and what, like, I got the kids got to be at the bottom of it.
Oh yeah, the kids are what keeps me going every day. Of course, I have mine and my two stepchildren who are basically my kids. But the hard things are trying to push forward and move forward and not knowing what to expect.
Right.
Yesterday, for example, there was a open house at my daughter's school, and once we got there, it was nice to see all the other students and the kids having fun, and all the families got a free hot dog. And you know as excited as I was after 2 years to finally step foot into my daughter's school for the first time after 2 years, all I could think in the back of my head, as happy as I was, is, am I getting her used to something? Am I happy about what's going on right now at this moment? And are we going to go backwards in September? Are we going to go backwards in the fall? I try to appreciate just being there and appreciate that moment and finally getting to be in the school. But at the same time, everything that's happened in these last few years, I'm worried that we're just going to end up back to how things were.
Nancy Graham says, I too have the PTSD every time I have to go out into the apocalypse. You got a clown pill at this point, bro. You have to, because the black pill, well, I got red pilled, so I was always a lefty, a 10-time Green Party guy before they went absolutely nuts. I mean, the left and the Greens with them. And so, the black pill is ugly, man. You're hopeless and suicidal, and I joke, but I don't joke because we all have our days, you know what I mean? And now I only can look at it and go, this is a fucking joke. But you know what? It's a scary joke, man. And like I said, with the kids, we can already see it manifesting, and I've been saying, dude, I haven't changed my tune since the beginning on this thing. We have decades yet to find out what this has done to our kids, and we're already seeing it manifest already. But the long-term psychological effects are not even close to being realized, and that scares me a little bit, man.
Absolutely. Jessica took the little guy to the park earlier, and she was with another parent she just met there, and they were both communicating, and the kids were playing together. And the mother looked at her and thanked her for bringing our son out there, and looked at her and said, this is the second kid that he's ever seen in his life before. The kid was 3 years old.
No way.
And I won't say the C word because I don't want to get you canceled, but she said you can tell.
Be canceled.
She said she can tell that, or you can tell that he's a virus baby.
Wow. That is shocking, man, and so sad. I mean, anyways, tell us a little bit more about how you're feeling. I changed the subject pretty quickly there. I want to hear more about you because we haven't spoken, man. And you've been a guy that has been very kind to me, very supportive, very loving, always there with a big. I miss my man hugs down here, man. The other day I went out on a mission to man hug, just hug everyone. But tell us a little bit more about you, where you're at, where's your head at, how you doing, how you feeling, how's the family, give us a gut check.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to say I could say the same to you, man. Before anybody knew who I was and I stepped up and wanted to talk about this kind of stuff, yeah, you had a show, you gave me a platform, you had no problem bringing me on there, even though nobody knew who I was. So I appreciate you for that just as much. I'll jump on here anytime.
Thank you.
I'm happy that we got some nice weather here. I'm happy that we could keep busy with the kids. I'm happy, my kids are all in soccer this year. So we're looking forward to some sense of normality for them. But at the same time, I fear this, like I said, this, putting them back into things, and then do we go backwards? Because I'm really sick of toying with these kids' heads. And I think that they are definitely that target demographic of people who have been affected more than anybody. And, they're vulnerable, they're voiceless, and we got to speak up on behalf of all of them. So myself, I've been just doing my thing, working out, doing a little bit of exercising. That's what, keeps me right in the head. So I've been trying to focus on that and hold myself accountable in that department every day. There was a time in my life where, I mean, you guys all seen it. I got so caught up and consumed in this that, every day it was like, I'm going to a rally in London, and then I'm going to one in Toronto, and then I'm going to one in Windsor the next day, and I'm speaking at all these events. All these people just started asking me to speak at them, and I didn't know how to say no. And, after a while, I had to humble myself and say, I'm not saying anything different than anybody else is saying. There's no need for me to drive 5 hours here and 2 hours there and all over the place. I gotta find some kind of balance, some kind of happy medium, make sure that I'm being here for my family as much as I'm trying to be there for everyone, because there's this balance that you need to stabilize, because I'm fighting for my kids, but at the same time I don't want to block them out while I'm fighting, right? And I think I could admit that there's times where I was spending more time doing that than I was with the kids, with their intentions in my heart. But I got to make sure that, both of those things are at the forefront.
Cool. Well, I was only too happy to see you take the stage, and I'm just, I'm kind of trying it on for size here. Like I fled the country pretty quickly. Like I didn't have a lot of time, and when I saw Max Bernier and Randy Hillier and whoever else did that press conference, for the first time, I took the Canadian flag out of my Twitter bio. Like, I'm just not proud. I'm out of the country. I'm trying to turn it off. It's not working. A buddy of mine says to me, I remember I was down at the office. It was outside. I was talking on the phone to DJ Timmy Turnup. And he says to me, why aren't you fucking carrying this live? Dude. Like, one of my friends down here said, we should have a trucker party. Let's do this. Saturday and Sunday, let's all pack the bar and just go. I didn't have the energy, and I just told him, I'm like, fuck, I'm working, man. Like, he goes, I go, for what? He goes, for clicks, for traffic, for everything. I'm like, no, I could be streaming Johnny Depp if I want to get, my thousands, get monetized, like, instantly. You know what I mean? And can you imagine the Jim Fannon Show coming to all the rallies with you guys as one of the guys? Like, come on. I'm built for that. I love it. And I wanted no part of it. But when I saw you taking the lead and rolling with the top leaders, I'm like, I fucking love this. So I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud that you gave everything you had, and you're still doing it, at some level and all levels. And, it takes a man to step up for the kids. It takes the man to step up for traditional family and women the right way. And now I got to watch, and I can't, somebody said on Twitter today, so a kid can't go to a heterosexual strip club, but they can go to a gay one to watch drag queens. What the fuck, man? What are we doing to our kids? So I really love you. I want to say I'm proud of you. I want to say thank you, because, and that's why I told you, dude, you got to fucking write the book. Even if it's shitty, you just got to put the words down. It can't, fuck, it's just going to be you. I got to write a book too. I got a book in me. It's got nothing to do with that. It's a business book, but I know it's going to be tough, man. Like concentration and, discipline, you're good at that. And I want you to give us some tips later on a lazy piece of trash like me that, I'm hurting sitting here. Like my sciatic is my hips are like this. And my shoulders are like this. It's fucking scary. I looked at myself a couple years ago in the mirror, and I almost cried. I'm like, what is this? You know what that is? That's sitting in this fucking chair on this computer doing YouTube and, social media I do from my phone. But YouTube, I got to sit down at the computer mostly. And it's a lot of fucking work to manage channels, man. So anyways, I'm blathering. I got you on the show, but a little confession as far as that goes. But I'm proud of you, and I'm thank you for doing it. I know what it takes. I know what getting on a stage feels like. Even if the stage doesn't scare you, it's still a fucking it's a mind fuck. It affects you before, during, and after with adrenaline and all other kinds of things. So I'm proud of you, man. Thank you for doing what you did. And what you
thanks,
still
Jim,
do.
but it's funny. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, I talk to people now, and they're like, "Oh, you're just a natural when you get up there. Yeah, like you enjoy it and that." And I'm like, "Dude, I fucking hate it." I'm like, "You have no idea." Like, people will come up to me at an event, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna say a few things today, eh?" And I'm like, I can't say no. I'm like, yeah, for sure. And then I like look at Jess and I'm like, fuck my life. I just trapped myself again. I'm like, we drove here the whole way here. I'm like, finally, I'm not going to say anything. I don't have to say anything. And then someone will be like, can you say something? And then I'm like, yeah, of course I can say something, you know? But yeah, I'm not, it doesn't get any easier anytime. I mean, of course, back in the day when we were at the rallies and the protests that you came to, where we knew people were getting charged at them, of course those were the most anxious ones, you know, like where we knew that could potentially happen. Like after
did
that happened,
we though? I didn't go. Did you really expect that? I didn't go there with any thought. Well, first of all, I went to April 10th with the idea there'd be 40 people. And dude, when I took the mic, and the PA, there was a mess up with the delivery of the PA, and there was no lectern or anything like that. And next thing you know, I had a microphone hooked into the microphone of a megaphone, and no one could hear me. And I looked at all these people, and I didn't have much planned. I was just going to introduce, you know, like I'm just winging it. But it does, the anticipation of it all, it's nerve-wracking, right? And then nobody we can't hear you. And I kind of just introduced Colin and got the hell out of there. I fucking bailed quickly. But I got 2 fines to show for it, and we'll skip over to that now, unless we'll touch on again how you're feeling. But I wanted to, because I talked about Shandor a little bit about this. I got 2 then, and then 2 the next week. And most people that I know that in our circle, it was one or the other or both. And you got way more than that. And I'm going to play this bit from the Rebel too, while I got you on. My lawyer takes it pro bono. This ex-copper guy in Hamilton, Steve Peterson. I don't think I'm speaking out of school here. I mean, I haven't really told the story before. He wanted me to. Well, first he wouldn't send my disclosure, which was 200 double-sided pages. He said the first disclosure had 3 pictures, and I wasn't in any of them. Okay. The next ticket, it was 200 pages, and it was too big to send to me because I'm out of the country. And I sat in this guy's office, and I go, I'm pretty frank, right? I don't sugarcoat things. And by no means, don't bring me in. I will not plead. Set a trial date. Don't bring me an offer. I'm not copping to this. I didn't do anything other than leave my house. He wanted me to, just like you, and we'll get into your story. I got, 2 $880 tickets? Bottom line is both. Dude, I picked up cheaters today, and I can't believe I'm going to have to fucking use them. 100 pesos these things cost me. It's just for the close stuff. It's a little blurry. Bottom line is both matters have potential for conviction. Regardless of a detailed review of the material, there's a risk of thousands of dollars of fines upon conviction. If you wish to resolve the matters, I've had preliminary conversations with the prosecutors for both Part 1 matters and Part 3. The resolution fines would be Part 1 matter would be a fine in the range of $750. And Part 3 matter would be $500. So he's going to reduce my fines by 30%. And I got to plead guilty. And I don't even know what this... And so what's he do? He fires himself. He was going to these meetings on Zoom and talking to the Crown prosecutor. And then I'm like, dude, I need to see the disclosure. I'm just stretching it out, really, because I'm hoping that somebody else's case is going to go before mine, get tossed. So I'm just dragging it out. And so he fired himself. And he had to go before the judge and say, I'm removing myself from the case. Then I slept in, not literally. I was on a men's call, totally forgot. I had a visitor from out of town, totally forgot. I blew both my dates. I appeared 3 times, but they kept putting them off. Yeah. I'm ready to go now. Let's go. Now. We'll do my trial. I'll be my lawyer. It's no problem. No. So I blew them. So they convicted me in my absence. So I had to get a reopening. So now I'm waiting for a trial date. And what's up with you? Got any breaking news?
Man, we had a crazy journey. So do we start with the good news today?
Yeah, fucking hit it, and then we'll work backwards.
Yeah.
Or is there any need
today,
to talk about any of it after you tell us what you need to? Because we can go to something else right after that. We don't need to fucking talk about gloom and doom for an hour. I mean, tell your story.
Here's the thing. There's some pretty like wild stuff that happened, and I never really got into it too much, and I didn't know if I was gonna get into it. Now I'm on the Jim Fannon Show. And I'm like, should I just blow the doors right off of the system?
Well,
right now,
Shandor did the other day. Shandor came out here for 2 hours and got really blew up, man, in a vulnerable way that I wasn't expecting. But he really, I think he helped a lot of people. Might not have been like today or tomorrow or the next day, but a lot of people are going to fucking watch that show. I'm convinced more than ever, more than any show I've done recently, especially, that Shandor made a difference the other day because his share, and he got vulnerable, man. So yeah, fucking blow it up, Rob Primo.
Let's do it. Okay. It's funny, before I talk tonight, I'm like, am I going to do this or am I not going to do it? And then I'm like, I know one day I'm going to do it, so I might as well do it on the Jim Fannon
I love
Show.
you for that. Do it, man.
So this is what got really weird and really interesting. So I got representation through Fight the Fines, through Rebel. As we all know, that was a crowd-funded initiative that I was very appreciative at first, and I still might be. I'm not sure. I don't know how to think about this, so maybe you can let me know your opinion after. But what happened is I felt like I was really out of the loop on a lot of what was going on. So it was like, we got to set up this case conference. So that was first. So it was like, I didn't need to be there the first couple times, and then we set up a case conference, and then it was pre-trial. So this is where things started getting really weird. When I had my first pre-trial, my lawyer reached out to me, and she goes, "You don't need to be at pre-trial." And I emailed her back, and I said, well, here's the thing. I want to be at pre-trial. And she goes, oh, okay, well, if you want to be there, you could be there, no problem. So then I asked her for the Zoom code, and she sent it to me, and I tried to get into the Zoom conference, and I couldn't get into it. And I thought, this is weird that they're not letting me in. So I'm calling the provincial offenses office, and I'm trying to let them know I can't get into my meeting and all that. And then all of a sudden my lawyer texts me, and my lawyer goes, the prosecution just told me that you're trying to get into the Zoom meeting. I told you that you don't need to be at this one. And I'm thinking, wait a second. So they've acknowledged to you that I'm trying to get into my pre-trial, and they've told you to what? Text me and tell me I don't need to be there? That kind of raises some flags with me. It just, I don't know, maybe that's the process. I don't know much about it, but it seems a little fishy to me.
You're right.
So after this happens, I ended up telling my lawyer, I go, for sure, I want to be at the next one. So the next one I go to, I actually attend in person at the courthouse. And it's literally, I walked into the door at the courthouse. There were 4 cops on me right away. They're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I have a pretrial matter before the courts today. And they're like, oh, well, we didn't think you were attending. And then I'm like, well, yeah, I'm here to attend it. And then they're like, oh, okay, hold on a second. So they end up searching me and all, all the normal stuff they do when you walk in the door, walk through the magnet thing. And then I sit down. And I can see in the courtroom I'm in, my lawyer on the screen. So I start knocking on the door, and this lady comes to the door, and she's like, oh, well, what did she say to me? She goes, can I help you? I go, yeah, that's just my lawyer on the screen there. I wanted to be in the courtroom today. I let the lawyer know. I called the provincial offenses court. I let them know that I want to be here. And yeah, I'm just here to attend my court. She goes, okay, hold on a second. Let me go ask the justice of the peace. And I'm thinking, oh no, sorry. Let me quote that. Let me go ask the justice of the peace if she thinks you have the right to be here. The right to be at my court, my pretrial. I said, okay. So she closed the door behind me. She went up by the justice of the peace desk and sat down and didn't say anything. Okay. I'm watching the whole court go over on the screen with my lawyer and them talking. I can't hear anything, and I'm at the door doing this. Now, I'm not going to open the door, but I'm like, what's going on here? So then at this point, I'm looking at the police officer, and I'm going, what's going on, man? I go, I'm here. What are they going to say? I wasn't here. I didn't show up. I said, you're my witness, whatever. So me and this police officer end up having a few words with each other, and he's getting upset, and he's telling me that I got to leave. So I end up leaving. And then my lawyer messages me and says, oh, I didn't know you were going to show up there. After I emailed her for the second time telling her I wanted to be there. So there were some issues there. I thought about letting my lawyer go at this time, but I probably shouldn't say the one part of the story. I ran into somebody, I'll say that. I ran into somebody that gave me some hope and to just keep pushing forward and that things might work out. And after that happened, look at you laugh because you know why, and I'm so bad, but I can't say it. Anyways, I ran into someone who gave me some hope.
I'm not on screen. Nobody can see me except you, man. And I'm muted too, so I'm just sitting here looking at my phone, listening to you tell a story.
Okay. So I ran into someone who gave me some hope and basically said, stick it out, which I did. And then I had my court case today. Now, I let the people know, or my lawyer know, I wanted to be there today. For sure, 100%. And they emailed me back and said, well, the last time you went to court, your charges were going to be withdrawn, but there was no justice of the peace there to withdraw your charges. And I thought to myself, doesn't this look fishy? You knew my charges were going to be withdrawn last time, but you didn't tell me that? You're my lawyer. Why wouldn't you tell me that? As I'm sitting here, I can't sleep. I'm stressing over it.
Wow.
I'm freaking out every single day.
Come on.
How did you not tell me? So then it gets better. Today, I'm supposed to go to court at 3 o'clock. She tells me to go there at 3 o'clock today. So Danielle goes to court in the morning, and her charges are withdrawn, and she's made that public, or else I wouldn't say that. So good job, Danielle. So then I find out after that, my court case was at 11 o'clock today. So they went there today, told me it was at 3 o'clock, and they represented me, and I was left out of that again.
No shit.
And I get an email that says, all of your charges are withdrawn, and it's like you were never charged. And then it says, thank you for your patience in my email.
Thank you for your patience. I'm still outside the fucking courtroom door, dolt.
Yeah, so this is like 3 or 4 times, I don't have the best memory, that I tried to go into this courtroom and witness what's going on, and they wouldn't let me. So I can't assume too many things, but I just want people to know that I don't think the courts are in our favor. And don't
the lawyers they get paid out of the same fund, don't they? Like, come on. And I'm getting pro bono, I'm getting shit, but like, wow, dude, you had to fight the fines. I'm surprised. Well, it doesn't matter. The end result is the same, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, man.
Sorry, Jim, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's actually better. Your mic was shit before, dude. I was going to interrupt you, but I wanted you to flow.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's much better.
Oh, perfect. They just died on me, but I missed what you were saying there.
Well, they're all in on it. They all get paid out of the same fund, right? Is it like... I don't know why, but yeah, these guys want to stretch it out for the meetings and whatever, especially the Crowns. Like, they are on the same side, the judges and the Crowns, like it's weird how it goes down. If you've ever been to traffic court or ever had anything, it's stacked against the defendant all the time. And you need I had Peter Cormos when I needed a lawyer. Like, I didn't fuck around, and neither did he. But when it came down to it, and Peter was genius, man. He was one of the brilliant minds of law. And he got me legal aid, even though my parents didn't qualify. He was that good. He goes, no, do this, I'll do this, and the courts will give it to you. My parents didn't have the money to throw down for a criminal defense for me when I was like 17, Because I gotta charge them anyway.
So I mean, but I can't assume things. I don't know this, but I feel like the first meeting I wasn't there went down like this. okay, so he's going to end up getting off this, but we want to prolong it as long as we can to make him think and keep him under control. So just know at the end of the day, you're going to win this case and look good as a lawyer. If we can just stretch it out to keep him under control, that's what we're going to do. And like I said, I don't know that, but that's how I feel like it probably went.
Sounds like a reasonable thing to do because, I mean, guys like you and me, you know, in that context can appear like a loose cannon, right? And you don't want your defendant to be a loose cannon and complicating things further with the charges that are existing already by getting rearrested or whatever. You know, anything could happen, right? Like,
right.
And the stupidest things, too, can happen. Like, we're not that smart when it comes down to it. As you're telling the story, I'm thinking in my mind of going to court to show up for something. I can't, you know, so obviously it was small. But I was going for something. And fucking they checked my smoke pack, and I'm dummy. I walked in with joints in my pack. And the cop pulls, he goes, well, whose are these? I go, well, mine. Well, what are you doing? I go, I'm a dumbass. Like, sorry, man. I'm like, fuck. Let's get out of here.
I did that when I was younger, too. You know what I did? I had a smoke pack. I used to smoke when I was younger, and I had a couple of joints in it. And I literally accidentally went over the border.
I did that, too. I've done that.
This was before weed was legal,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I did that with
I crossed the border. And I went to pull the smoke out, and I had about 10 joints in there. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like,
fucking idiots.
It probably would have, you're smuggling across the international border.
I got pinched by the ride before I went over the Peace Bridge. I just came out of hockey in Port Colborne, Friday Night Lights. And, yeah, it was about 11 o'clock. I'm going to Bragg's by myself, you know, just showered and in my track pants going to Bragg's. I go across, and my buddy's brother-in-law pinched me. And he said he was going to take care of it, but he didn't. I had to. What did I get for that? Oh, no. When I went up for that one, the judge berated the cop for even pulling it. I had a quarter ounce on me. Well, I mean, I was headed for the border, but like back then, it was like, it was early 90s, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge deal like it is now. And yeah, the cop berated, the judge berated the cop for saying, like, what are you bringing this for me? You know, because I come, he's a realtor, he's in suit and tie, upstand, you know, no priors, blah, blah, blah. And the judge went, like, really? Get out of here. And so, yeah, I would think that would be like, well, I'm graduating in high school in 86, so it had to be late 80s, early 90s, something like that. And
well, we're seeing
but that's what I mean, complicating things. So it's not a bad idea they're keeping you out of there and thinking that they're controlling you. Meanwhile, you got a life to live.
Yeah. No, I kind of I understand in a way. It's just like, it was really frustrating at the same time. And it's something that, you know, like some people can put things aside. This is something that would cross my mind every day. The scariest part was because, you know, just knowing what the max penalty was. And I know nobody gets the max penalty, but my biggest concern was this was all new grounds. No one's been tried before. They were way too serious about it. So it's like, are they going to throw the book at us? Mm-hmm. And we're seeing all kinds of things happen in our country we've never seen happen in history in Canada before.
So where were you in the order of matters that were dealt with as far as who got discharged? Did like anyone
out of everyone from Niagara?
Yeah. Well, even nationwide, had anyone gotten up for this before you?
I think Pastor Hildebrand.
Okay. Well, they really screwed him over.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think who else. There's not a whole lot of people though.
Okay.
And anybody who tries to really push forward,
right.
It seems that they withdraw it, except for the Pastor Hildebrand case. They obviously wanted to try and make something out of him, right? Which is unfortunate because I've met him before and he's a very nice guy.
Yeah, and
didn't you interview him once?
Yeah, I think I did have him on. Yeah. I did. And you know what? I've always said this is going nowhere. Like from the very beginning, it's like I've been the same guy on the virus and masking ever since the beginning. I'm like, come on, what? Really? What? Are we really doing this? And I took it pretty lightly, but there's so much stress that goes along with performing the duties of getting off
because no matter how convinced you are you're going to get off, you never fucking know. So there's always it's in the back of your mind that, oh, fuck, this could get ugly. Like, I'm out of the country. I got, hey, I know you understand social media attacks. And, hey, I'm a big boy. I can take what you throw at me. And it's funny, actually. It's entertaining. Fugitive. I'm a fugitive. I don't even have a trial date, you losers. Fugitive is somebody that's guilty on the run, I think. So as much as you believe you're going to get off, there's always the back of your mind, and then it's your life before you get off, especially in the public. And then there's the stress of making sure you take all the meetings. Like all those Zoom calls and stuff for court. Like, yeah, my guy was going and he says you don't need to be there, and I didn't care. I'm like, fuck, I don't care. Stretch it out.
Well, I think there's like a certain threshold of people who are like heavily followed, and once you hit that threshold, then they really try and make an example out of you to trickle everybody down. And clearly, I must be right outside of that threshold, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Because we see what's happened with people like, that Pat King and George, whatever his name is. Now, everybody knows who Pat King is and who this George guy is. But what a lot of people don't know is there's like 20 or 30 other political prisoners around this country right now. And I don't even know their name. So, I feel pretty bad for those people because, it's terrible what's happening to Pat King. It is terrible. But I know there's, maybe there's $100,000 for his lawyers or whatever. These other people, I don't know what they're going to do. And I know with Pat, what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to basically say, like, we'll let you out if you sign a hush thing. Like, if you don't talk about anything that's happened in jail, if you don't talk about this experience,
come on,
you can kind of get out right now.
Yeah, that's not gonna
so
happen.
Right now he's kind of hanging in there, but it sucks in there. So hopefully they don't get him to do that.
And you know what? If you want to break a man, here's how you do it. You put him in jail and take everything away from him. And you will break him at one point. And we see it with the January 6th guys in the States. Like, I don't know these guys personally, but I've had some interaction with a few of them. They're in solitary, bro. And they're just stretching it out. They've got nothing. They're going to prime time on Thursday. Tonight. They're going to prime time tonight on the fucking January 6th hearings. They subpoenaed thousands of documents. They can't find a fucking thing. And they don't want it to go to trial because they've got nothing. These guys trespassed. They weren't armed. And today they're charging with seditious fucking whatever it is. Seditious. Yeah. We're going there with guns. We're going to take the government over. And they said the same about the truckers. They were there to overthrow the government. Well, what?
Oh,
Their truckers are going to overthrow the government. And what? And then what? Well, these guys on January 6th, they had plans to go to a concert at 3 o'clock. We're going to overthrow the government at noon. And then at 3 o'clock, we're going across the border to see a comedy show. Dude, and so you know what? You will break a man putting him behind bars and taking his wife and his family and his friends and his livelihood and making him a fucking monster. You'll break a guy, and they'll rat, and they'll turn over, and they'll tell a story. They'll do anything to get out of jail. Some guys are like, fuck you. Oh, fucking no way. Never. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of guy I'd be because I am not one for being cooped up behind bars. I'd be the first one to break, probably.
Now, how the Emergency Act was enabled, obviously. Now, have you heard much on why people think that's happened? Have you heard about Diagonalon and that? You want me to fill you in on that?
Yeah, you can fill me in. All I saw was the recent news that dude was misunderstood. This is laughable, and that's why you got to take the clown pill. Can you believe we live in this time?
It's crazy.
Can you believe that this is a reality where RCMP are trampling old women and walkers, and it all gets swept? I see that Rebel News reporter girl was shot with the beanbag thing, like live Like, and these guys didn't have badges that looked like a UN force. This was not Canadian cops.
Well, when I was there, the craziest, like, one of the things that really,
I can't
when
fucking
I was
believe
like, wow,
it.
this is when I was like, this is getting bad. So I you know what, I might not have even told you this story, but I had my phone out and I was trying to record what was going on right at the front of the line. And at this point, I wasn't even being mouthy. I was actually playing the journalism role kind of thing, right? And I was just recording with my phone, and these guys were getting so mad at people who had their phone out on the front. This cop, there was like a snowbank behind me. He literally just grabbed me by my neck, and I fell over the snowbank, and I had goggles on my head, and he lifted the goggles up and sprayed pepper spray in my eyes, and then he wiped the pepper spray into my eyeballs.
What?
And it's like, you know what, man? This is where we're really fucking at in our country right now. Like, you really feel good about yourself? Just some dude that, as far as you know, is like a fucking media reporter. You're just gonna fucking hose him down with pepper spray and then scrub it in his eyeballs? Like, that's like, aren't you here to serve and protect, or are you here to be fucking jackboots on the ground?
Jackboots, yeah.
And it's very apparent that they were there to be jackboots on the ground. Another interesting thing that I realized after going back to Ottawa for the veterans event and the other event is that this, I like to call them an organized crime gang, but this collective of police officers that's in Ottawa, they're all the same, Jim. It's all the same ones that keep going back. So on the, you know, just a little bit of positivity for Canadians to know, there's so many police officers that won't do that work that they can only get the same 500 to do it or whatever, because I take videos and pictures and everything when I'm there, and they all have the same badges and look the same. Like, I'm starting to get to know them from going to Ottawa.
Well, I appreciate you being the guy on the front line, man. It's you know, it's a thankless job for sure.
The thing I wanted to tell you about Diagonal on there is, so there's this guy I've been trying to turn you on to a couple times. You'd like his podcast. His name's Jeremy McKenzie, and his podcast is called Raging Dissident. Now, he's a little bit out there. He's pretty far right leaning. I wouldn't call him extremist, but he's got some pretty good conservative views, right? And so he made a joke. He's got this podcast, a lot of followers, and he kind of brought a community of people together. You know, everyone who's been struggling through this, and they kind of found friendship through his chats and whatnot. And so he streams twice a week for 3 hours or so, and everyone gets to talk. And so he made a joke the one day on his episode. He goes, you know, if you look at all the provinces and the states that disagree with the mandates, it actually makes a diagonal from Canada up through the states. So he jokingly goes, we're going to make our own state called Diagonalon. And it'll be all the people who are against the mandates. And he goes, and then that'll be like our separatist country where we just get to live there and be left alone. And then everybody else who's like standing for that gets to live there. So now he's like a huge internet troll. So they made like a Diagonalon flag. He says that the president of his country, which is in his imagination, is a goat figurine that's addicted to narcotics.
They should have threw
how out there it is. Like,
they didn't even have to throw the Nazi symbol in there. Like they didn't have to go that far, and they get completely taken serious. And then they brought it up in the House of Commons. House of Commons and the Senate. They're like, there is a far right extremist group called Diagonalon. They are racist and blah 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 blah, and racist and homo, and they're extremist, and they're linked to the Proud Boys. And this. Oh, did they say the Proud Boys too? That's classic. I love the Proud Boys.
Yeah, so they were saying they're a militia and all this.
Geez,
and these guys, like, I could show you videos of them. They're just laughing their ass off, and they're like, I can't believe we literally trolled the government so bad that they enacted the Emergency War Measure Act for the first time ever.
Good for him.
I can't believe we did this.
Good for him.
And
I didn't know that.
And now they're just, this poor guy, man, they are all over him. Like, the RCMP are going to his house every day. He's got cameras set up there. The other day he went for a ride on
Not so funny now, guy?
Yeah, the fucking brake cable on his Harley got clipped off the other day, so he went to use his brake. He had no brakes. Like, they're just giving
That's
it
not
to
cool.
him big time.
Ooh. I got to the bottom
He's
of the
had
hill
to
the
put
other
up
day.
some
I'm not
statuses
like, I need
lately to
brakes.
remind everybody
Fuck
that he's not suicidal if anything happens to him.
I always check my brakes before my bike rolls downhill, man. Fuck that noise.
Yeah.
Nobody's after me
So
in the Dominican Republic. People still love each other down here. They smile. They stop and talk to each other on the street. They hug. They hold hands. They talk to and I say hola to everyone. I mean everyone. So yeah, it's a different world down here, bro. So I wish we could get you out of there. How's the wife doing?
She's doing good. She's doing good. You know, like, it's hard when someone asks how we're doing. I don't know how to answer, because we are doing good. Like, we're happy with each other. We're happy with our family. We're trying to keep it as normal as we can. But, you know, every day is a little bit of a struggle. You know, you don't know what's going to get worse. You don't know if it's going to get better. I like to think right now that things are a little bit better. Like, I think that people are really starting to see a lot of things come to light. I really do believe that. And, you know, even just being at the park with my kids earlier and having a conversation with a few parents. I had a parent come up to me and thank me that I'm not too sure who they were, but, you know, I feel like I used to go places and people would be staring at me and they'd be mad at me. And now I go to grocery stores and stuff, and sometimes people will come up to me and thank me. And you know, not that I'm looking for that, but it's nice to know that the whole world doesn't hate me again. You know, like, it's an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah, it's important to get some acknowledgement, and that's something that we've been missing, because in lockdown and isolation, it's where the enemy works on you real hard, man. Like, it's not like you're in the wilderness. Yeah, you are kind of like in the wilderness, but when you're practicing solitude and unsupported, even if you've got a family around you, dude, it's when you're the man and you're on stage, and elections were like this a lot for me, it's isolating, man. And when you're ostracized and talked about in the media and fake news, fish comes flying at you, it's just, you know, how many people have we watched go down to the standard? I went down way before the mandates, you know?
Yep.
You know, they made an example of me pretty hard, and what? I got a filthy mouth. Fuck. Are you kidding me? What? Are you new? You know? And, you know, people you thought were friends turn out to not be. And then the best part is the people that you didn't expect that stand with you. And out of nowhere go, Jimmy, I can't say anything publicly, but I got you, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that quietly come to you and just say, you know what, keep it up. I remember I got a donation once on Twitter, a couple of them. This guy from Europe sent me $75 on PayPal twice. I'm like, he's like, just keep at it, man. He said, I want to hear a show about how Justin Trudeau got elected in Canada. Can you do that for me? I still own the show because I can't explain it.
There's so many people that are silent supporters, which I get in a sense because of their jobs and things like that. You know, I wouldn't have admitted to this before, but another thing I'll bring up on the Jim Fannon Show, I don't think I can get in trouble for it now, but when they started seizing people's bank accounts and the Give, Send, Go and the GoFundMe and all that stuff, I put a post up, Jim, and I said, and this shows you how much true Canadians love our core values and the people here, and they just want to see our country be the way it was. I put a post up and I said, you know what? I don't care if my bank account gets frozen, whatever. These guys are in their trucks, and, you know, they need supplies, and now the Give, Send, Go isn't showing up, and you know, people got questions about the organizers. If anyone wants to send any money to me, I will literally go on live and I will hand out the money on live so you know it went out there. I woke up the next morning, I had $7,000 in my bank account. $7,000 in my bank account.
Holy shit.
I'm like looking at it again. I'm like, this is a joke. And then I'm like, wait, did maybe I get something deposited? Somebody else owed me money or something? And I'm looking at it. Nope. 20 here, 20 here, 150 here, 200 here, 10 here, 5 here, all the way down.
Holy shit,
So we went out there and we put these.
Did you buy yourself some glasses?
What's that?
I hope you bought some fucking glasses out of that, because I watched the video of them fly down the highway off your head, you moron.
I didn't buy myself glasses, but
I would have thought that would be a legitimate expense to go in to see the truckers. You fucking dummy.
I think it would have been fair, but you know what? Somebody sent me money, and they said to me specifically, I want to pay for your hotel for 2 nights.
Oh, cool.
So that was really nice. I let them do that. You know, I at first I was like, oh, it's all good. But staying in those hotel rooms in Ottawa and that, holy smokes, did it ever get pricey, man?
Well, yeah, because they're sold out, man.
But then at the
how about the hotels that they booked that you couldn't book, that were the feds had them or something? Yeah, I think you did a video from one of the parking garages of one of these sold out hotels, and the parking garage was empty.
That's what they were doing, man. They were buying out all the rooms after, so people couldn't come there because they just couldn't control the situation. And the people controlled it, though. Like, everything was good. Everything was peaceful. Everyone was behaved. But you know what, Jim? If it went on another 4 or 5 weeks, I think our entire country would have been there outside peacefully standing against them, and it would have been a victory. And they didn't want to see that happen. Justin Trudeau doesn't want that to happen, right?
Great point, man. Never thought of it that way.
You know, like, there was nothing bad that was ever going to occur.
Because those guys were perfectly prepared to stay through the winter and make it a summer bash if they wanted to. Like, they were there for the long haul. They were not fucking around. The guys that were there, they were booked off, whatever. They made arrangements. You know, And I talked to a guy actually that got picked up by Fox News and has been picked up a couple times by Newsweek. Gord Bigger, I think. Bigger? No, Josh Bigger.
Josh Bigger. Mr. Freedom.
No,
Bigger.
This was a trucker. He lives in the States, and he drove up to Ottawa without a vax. Got in and got out. And went and supported it. And then Newsweek picked him up because, Newsweek's been picking up some center to right-leaning writers lately, because Newsweek just went crazy with the rest of the media. But they've been turning it around. And actually, I hear CNN's turning it around too. If you can't be unbiased, you're done. Like these guys like Cuomo and stuff.
I think we're coming to a time where a lot of this stuff's going to start coming out. I think
not in Canada, we're not, because they're still in the government teat.
Yeah, exactly.
Canada's
but it's interesting. Like, I don't know if you've seen, but the other day I noticed mainstream media was covering, that federal funding for people who were injured by the juice there.
Really?
So I was surprised to see that covered.
Yeah. Backstory, back page story for sure.
Yeah.
It's been a hard hoe with the media, man. It's hard to, especially in Canada. At least in the States, you've got strong conservative channels, right? Like Newsmax is new, and Fox is always there. And like, I think Fox is entertaining. Like, Tucker's one of the best broadcasters alive, maybe ever. Like, the guy's just flawless. He mispronounced a word the other day. I'm like, oh, mark it down. Carlson said a word wrong. Like, he's that good. And
he's amazing.
And the Five, I check the Five out once in a while. They have a lot of fun. Gutfeld's hilarious. And I like the Five. It's kind of a little bit more upbeat, and everyone takes their chance. You know, they all go around, and they got some decent personalities, but it's not all gloom and doom. And they seem to have a lot less spin than these lefties. But yeah, we can only hope that south of the border that they clean it up a little bit. But
that's like what I'm banking on right now is I'm really thinking, I'm like, I hope things turn around in the States and they start helping us out with their voices and everything. You know, it's good all these times we see the European Union and things like that addressing what's going on. That one lady, I can't remember her name, but man, does she ever speak against fancy socks a lot.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You know who I'm talking about? The lady with the short hair?
I think I know which one. The one that took him down at the UN?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a good clip. But before, I'm not prepared to hit that clip, but why don't we do this? Why don't we, let's see. We'll play that clip from Rebel. I got it on your Telegram. It's right here. I'm just going to play the clip where she, I'm not going to play your whole, because this is like almost 5 minutes. I'm starting about 30 minutes in, and I think it's your lawyer talking to Rebel News. Is that it?
Yeah, Jenna Little.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to play
Yeah.
this short clip, and then we'll get into more.
Yeah, so Robert attended, or supposedly attended, 4 different rallies or protests, and each time he attended, he was given 2 separate summons, one under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act, and one under the Reopening Ontario Act. Each one comes with a fine of up to $100,000 and up to 1 year imprisonment. Not only is it excessive, but both of the charges are essentially the same thing. They're essentially duplicitous in a way. I mean, the EMCPA is referred to by the Reopening Act within the charges, so it's almost like a double jeopardy in a way, giving him 2 charges for the exact same thing on the same time. I also question the constitutional validity of anything given under the Reopening Ontario Act during a state of emergency, which at this time we can't comment on what that strategy will be or if we were in fact, a state of emergency at the time. But it's absolutely egregious that somebody could be facing $800,000 in fines and I suppose 8 years in jail.
Again, they're exercising their...
When all of this happened to me, I went through some of the hardest times of my life. I became one of the most hated faces in Niagara for...
I feel your pain there, brother. Been there. I'm glad you made it through the other side, man. That's, takes a lot of stones, man. I'm proud of you. I don't want to be there's a dick-sucking contest for Rob. Primo, come on. Can't minimize Zoom. Okay. Oh, what else do we need to hit, my brother? Oh, yeah. So we got to finish up on the whole... sorry, I'm very good at wandering around, with the conversation. We get sidetracked, but usually it comes full circle. By the time we finish, we're all good. How long are we in? Oh, I've already had you almost an hour, Preems.
I'm not in a rush. Whenever you want. I was looking forward to talking to you, Jim. It's been a while.
Yeah, and good timing, too. So when did this piece run on Rebel?
Oh, that was a while ago. To be honest, I can't remember the date, but I want to say probably about a year ago.
So you're done. Danielle's done. Shandor's dealt with. Who else do you know that's got to go up other than me?
I believe Dennis.
Oh, really? Okay.
I believe so. I could be wrong.
No, okay.
And I'm trying to think. Jim Hanley. I don't know about Sonny. I'm not sure. Could maybe Sonny as well.
Oh, Sonny's got him too,
but I feel like I could probably, and like I'm going to do this for everybody, but I feel like I can go pick up my transcript tomorrow and I should be able to give them to you guys and that should work, no? Like I would assume.
Well,
if people were charged with the same thing by the same people and they were dropped, I would assume that would.
Yeah, I would think it to be a formality even without them, but yeah, it wouldn't hurt to circulate that shit around if it's not legal, then we're not going to do that. We're just talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because they say you can't record your court proceedings. Really? Now, I certainly can't record it on Zoom but I mean, I am a broadcaster. I record things.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to say I recorded my court proceedings, but I did need to go back to them I might have had something to reflect on to go, what was that date again? Rather than write it down. And then I still missed both the dates and got convicted in my absence. But it's going to be all right soon. Oh, yeah, Dave too,
Maybe
right?
Billsma too.
All right, I'll touch base with him tomorrow, see where he's at with it. And he got a rough ride, man. He's still getting a rough ride. Like, we all look back now at All Lives Matter and that show he did with McConnell. And me and Shandor talked about this last 2 nights ago. Come on. Because he's a Christian and a pro-lifer, you hate the man? Like, seriously. And that's what they go after. Like, that's the only reason they came after me is because I'm starting to say, I don't know about abortion after 6 months. It's not cool. Like, that's some sort of radical position. And the All Lives Matter being a dog whistle and Walter just standing on on his petard.
Oh man, I've seen some pictures he was posting the other day, and I was not too proud of him. I was
sad.
like, "You're unbelievable."
Sad,
Anything
man.
to just go side by side with the masses.
Well, he's a media whore too. He's always been good at getting ink. And I will give him props for that. And even guys like Mike Britton does a good job getting ink. Like politicians, you got to know how to get ink and how to get the right ink. And these guys are good at it. Even Andy Gill, when he was a counselor, as much as he's such a goofball, he was good at getting ink. His problem was he tried to beat Dykstra, and he lost his seat at city council. It was one or the other, and he picked the wrong one. He could have been still at that table.
Mm-hmm.
But he's gone crazy too, man.
It looks like there's quite a few. I can't announce them now, but I'm sure you might have heard of a few. But it looks like our local city councils in Niagara are going to have quite a few people running that have had a pretty good role in this fight for freedom. So good. I'm happy to see.
Well, hopefully they get organized and funded enough to win, because it's one thing to run like I would do, to be a conversation piece or drive the conversation or pick apart my opponent, tactfully. That, I never ran with the idea. I've never run an election where I actually thought I could win. Like, that wasn't the point of winning. And the point wasn't like, look at me, as much as people go, oh yeah, Fannon, you just want to see yourself. Yeah, well, it was my job as a candidate to get ink. Yeah, I had to see myself in the ink. But it was never like, I ran in 93 as a Green Party guy. I was the laughing stock of anyone that knew me, and then got the itch, 10 years later, ran a bunch of elections. So it's never like, we've never wanted to be at the forefront of this fight. Alicia didn't ask for this. Shandor didn't ask for this. And, it was so fitting to hear Shandor put things, one, he's got the receipts. Two, he's got the timeline. And three, he described how the scraping of the stickers was the first act. And that was after, and it was a parody. The act of scraping up the stickers was a parody. It was a joke. Yeah. And look at the fucking racket that caused. Like, we didn't ask for this. And I just do a talk show. Nobody listens much. But, I used to have a platform. I used to have a big YouTube channel. I used to have a big Twitter channel. And they've all gone by the wayside. And Shandor is like, one of the biggest things for him was losing Facebook. All his stuff was there. And I feel his pain to a certain extent, except I still have my Facebook, and I know how much of my life is on Facebook. Going through your memories, and he was talking about people that think he just ghosted them or disabled the account. They don't know what he's what's going on with him. Yeah. And, it can really take its toll, man. And I'm not one that's ever played the victim, but we really, truly did not ask to be at the forefront of this. And, I was flattered when Alicia, or maybe I suggested it to Alicia. I said, well, fuck, I'll introduce you. Let me introduce you. If nothing else. But then I was so freaked out when I got there and saw 800 people in that parking lot. I'm like, what the I wasn't prepared for this.
Well, you know what I did? I'll tell you, I don't know if I've said this before. My whole reason for taking the stance I did at first is I seen that Alicia and Cullen got charged by the police, and then what happened to Shandor, and then me and Shandor were talking, and I started thinking in my head. I said, okay, we're doing this thing where we're standing up right now. So Alicia got charged, Cullen got charged. Now, if they keep doing this every week, they're going to keep getting charged. So if there's 1,000 of us here and we're all fighting for the same thing, wouldn't it make sense that if Alicia and Cullen put on this event last weekend, that I'll put on the event this weekend, and then somebody else can put on the event next weekend,
right.
And then somebody else can the next weekend, and then everybody just gets like one charge.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't happen like that, right?
And
it was
as you saying that, Rob, I'm really made aware of the fact that we've all been good people. We actually I didn't have any conditions, but those of us that did, we lived by them. You know, like we actually didn't contact the people we weren't supposed to be associated with.
Yep.
Shandor actually didn't go near. Well, I think one time he just said fuck it, but he was and I think he still can't go near a megaphone. Are you fucking kidding me? Like we all played by the rules for the most part when they set our conditions down. I didn't have them, but like, yeah, we were good about it. We took that as a serious thing because you know what happens if you break that shit, then you're going straight to jail, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Shandor is still one of the bravest people I've ever met. You know, he really inspired me to keep going. You know, he had this conversation with me. He probably doesn't even remember, but he kept telling me, I remember, like, you know, if we're really free, then like we got to live free. We can't get charged and then just back down and whatever. And, you know, as we grew and things went along further, the plans changed and stuff. But you know, I hold a lot of respect for that guy. I always will. And it still bums me out how all that worked out.
Yeah,
but
well, because of one pissed off reporter that was copyright striking all of us. He took a couple of my channels down too, and Rob Gill took my Twitter channel down and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it caused more damage to some of us than others, right? And you know, I'm not one for poor me, but like I am pretty responsible for every decision I've ever made, and I'll stand behind it for the most part. I do not say sorry. And you know what? I do say sorry. I made a bunch of calls the other day. I think I made 5 apology calls the other day. And it was basically, well, I listened to why I'm a dick, and then I apologize for being a dick. A prick is more suited for Jimmy Fannon than a dick. But
sometimes
I can be both.
Sometimes it feels good to apologize to people.
You gotta own and you know what, I wouldn't change too much, especially looking back at that way. But you know, we have experienced this whole fight differently, and some of us have lost more than others and been more damaged than others, and you know that's why it was so cool, if I can, in lack of a good adjective, to speak to Shandor the other day.
Oh, you know how many? I can't even count how many times, you know, true friends and good friends of mine have reached out to me in the last 2 years and said, you know, at different stages, like, okay, it's time to pump the brakes a bit, Rob. You got to focus, you got to buckle down and whatever. And I would just say, like, fuck, man, I don't know how to tell you guys. Like, I cannot just go to work for 8 hours a day when this is going on. Like, I literally don't give a shit about my future, whatever. I care about my kids. Just that's it. If I know this shit's not going to be going on when my kid's kicking it and she's going to have a good life, fuck everything else. I don't care. That's what I want to focus on. And, you know, I have a lot of people that came out, oh, you're a loser. You're not working now. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And I would say, you just don't get it. That's a sacrifice I'm making right now. There's nothing fucking fun about doing what I'm doing right now. I promise you, there's nothing fun about it. It fucking sucks. But someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and it sucks that yeah, we had to be those guys. But hey, what the fuck? I'm not sorry. I don't know, man. I feel good. Nancy Graham is a huge fan.
One day I'll be able to sit my kid down and I'll be able to say to her, you know what, sweetheart? You were the only kid in the class that didn't have to breathe through that stupid mask. And I stuck up for you. And I went to the school and I made them sign papers. And I made lawyers sign papers saying you'll never get jabbed. And yeah, I was over the top. And yeah, the school might have thought I was crazy, but I did everything to make sure you were safe while you were there. And I had the teacher's personal number. And they said to me, you know, if public health comes in here, I will text you and you can come get your kid right away.
Good
and
for you, man.
I'm around the corner. And
good for you. Fuck.
A lot of people would say to me things like, oh, I don't know how you can send your kid to school. And I would say, well, you know, have you done the work as a parent? Because you have no idea what I've done, what I've got signed from the teacher, the principal, the superintendent, a lawyer. Everything I've gone
through. You know, and
props
to you again. I don't want to kiss your ass all show, but you know, that's a typical Papa Bear coming out there. But I want to give props to all the women because they were the first ones to come to the front lines and go, fuck no, because you're not fucking with my child. And women have a way stronger tendency to protect you know, what came out of their body. Like, we don't have that connect. Hello? We are kind of different.
Oh, yeah.
We're not equal, you know? And so I was so proud. And then when the men started coming to the front lines, I'm like, okay, this is better. This is good. Because mostly it was women in the beginning I was all proud of, because they're like, hell no. You're not masking my kid.
I still, one of my biggest memories from this whole fight is, I don't know if you ever knew my friend Sam from Empowering the Children. It's called a group she started, but they're out somewhere towards Toronto. And I remember when all this was going on and the chief medical officer was trying to mandate this for kids, and that group of 10, 15 women, they literally pushed the door open that was locked at City Hall, and they went in there. And they just stood up in there and they were saying, hands off our kids, hands off our kids. And they were demanding that they bring the chief medical officer of health downstairs to talk to them. And sorry, I lost you for a sec. To talk to them. And, you know, it's pretty intense. It seems intense, but people don't understand because the paper doesn't tell them. You know, if you wrote into public health, you weren't getting an answer. If you tried to call and talk about something with public health, if it wasn't what they agreed with, they wouldn't talk to you. If you tried to, you know, reach out to your doctor and talk about something, they weren't talking to you. If you reached out to a city councilor and tried to talk to a city councilor or a regional councilor about your issues, they weren't talking about it. So it left these parents with no other options but to go there and advocate for your child and use your voice strong, no matter what the repercussions were going to be.
Sorry, dude. I'm just drying off my headphones. I had somebody cancel on me yesterday. No big deal. But it is so freaking hot down here, and I suffer through it. You know, I shower 5-6 times a day. I just like, you know, I don't like the air conditioning, and you know, I'm on a budget, dude. Like, I haven't sold a damn thing since I've been down here 8 months. Like, are you kidding? And so I have to do this and stay this dry. Like, my shirt is dry tonight. I have to start my air, which is in my bedroom and barely blows through the door, at like 10 in the morning for it to be even like 82 or something in here. Otherwise it's 95 and sticky with no breeze, and you can't have the fan on while you're broadcasting. Fan on while you're broadcasting. Yeah.
Fan on. Hey, I get it.
So yeah, it's a commitment, man. That's why I was on you today. Are we good? Because I didn't want to tell you. I've been running the air since 10 o'clock, and if you say no, I've been fucking running it for nothing all day.
If you say no, I'm sending someone to your house, Primo.
It's good times, man. Good to see you. I'm glad you're feeling good. What? Tell me more. Tell me, fill us in with go back to the... well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it on the Jim Fannon Show. Or we hit all those points.
I think we yeah, I think we hit most of them. Have you've heard about James Topp?
No, what?
Oh my goodness. So there's a man right now named James Topp. He's a 28-year Army veteran, and he's marching across Canada right now.
Oh, yeah. That's the guy that nobody's covering. Yeah, we don't know about... Yeah, I know about him, but none of the media has said anything about him.
Yeah, he's left Vancouver, and he's been walking since February.
Okay. His
feet are swelled up 2 shoe sizes. No media coverage, other than people like us who put it out there. They've stopped in several cities and walked in front of CBC. They've sent their mission statement. The good thing is when he gets to Ottawa, I understand now that there's like, I think about 14 MPs who are going to meet with him and talk.
Oh, really?
And
that's good.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
From what party?
You know,
Conservatives?
Sorry?
From
Conservative.
Yeah, and there's no PPC MPs, so yeah. I was going to say Max will be there probably.
I was just going to say to you, Max just announced, of course, Max goes above and beyond. Good for him. Max is going to go there his last day, and he's going to march 30 kilometers with him to the parliament.
Boy, I love that Max Bernier. He's a good boy. I wish he'd get that fucking accent down a little bit, man. He's just he mispronounces the key words at the wrong time, and I don't know, something about that French accent is so easy for me to mock. But no, I think I've got through to Max. I think he's going to have proportional representation in the next PPC platform. I hope he does.
I heard you ask him that. That's good. I hope
missed the boat on that one last time. And he. I know I joke about this, but the politician that includes, we're gonna scrap daylight savings time. Fuck that shit. No more falling back. That's bullshit. You don't need to fall back. It doesn't need to get dark at 4:30 in the afternoon. Okay, stop it.
Exactly right. You know who won't meet James Topp though? Pierre. Now, I don't want to come on here and badmouth him. I'm not sure if you're a fan or not a fan or anything like that.
I think we need good, healthy opposition in the PC party, and he's about the best that we can do right now. So I'll take what I can get out of that guy. But yeah, ultimately,
yeah,
I'm a PPC guy.
you know, like a lot of people got on the, you know, really coming at him hard early on, and I never took part in that. I'm a little disappointed that he doesn't want to speak with James. I want to research it. I want to shoot him a message myself and see why. But the only thing I can think of is that CBC and the National Post have put out some hit pieces recently saying that this Army veteran is associated with far-right extremist groups and Diagolon and all that stuff.
For crying out loud.
So, you know, maybe he's just playing politician and you know, he's got to not commit political suicide. I don't know what his reason is. I really don't.
Yeah, it's disappointing. But, I mean, you can't be all things to all people. And, you know, what we forget about these positions of power is oftentimes they have handlers, right? And sometimes you're just the candidate and you're just doing, like, I was my own candidate, but if I ever ran for a party where I just had to be the guy and I was told what to do, then I had no problem, you know. That's how I did it when I was first green. I didn't know anything back then, but you know, if you want me to be a robot candidate for your party, let's go. You know, now it's a little different, I guess. Now, the last time I ran was for the None of the Above party for Vez. Now there's a bright dude.
Yeah.
You know, and there's another guy that just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds democracy. And I called him the other day, months ago, and I said, "Hey Vez," I said, I'm kind of reluctantly making this call because you're my political hero, and lately we don't see eye to eye on anything. And he's so fucking passionate and brilliant, and like these are some pretty major things that I never thought I'd be divided with Vez. Vez is one of the most, the hands down the most brilliant guy I know. And to hear him say some of the things he was saying, I'm like, what the I've known you 25 years. Who am I talking to? But, yeah, it's been a long, strange ride, man. But that was classic when you said to me today, oh, and by the way, I got off my charges today. I'm like, okay, I guess this interview was booked timely. I just haven't talked to you in a while. Last time I talked to you was around Christmas time. I think we did a Instagram live from my office down here at DR because I didn't have high speed hooked up or I had a bad connection or some shit. And that was fun, man. And I kind of missed the trolls because they come at you hard, man. I'm glad you came back to Twitter though, or got on Twitter because they found you immediately. And I don't know if I got this point out. Yeah, I did last night or the other night talking to Shandor. Lori Yip made a new campaign account for re-election, and I'll give her a props. She's a good politician, now that she's there. But she forgets. I was the first guy that put her on the show when she was supposed to be, they wanted to have a by-election and they were talking about doing blah, blah, blah. I said, no, you appoint this one right here, dummy. It's already, I had her on the show. I was in the back room. I was encouraging her and blah, blah, blah. We were tight. Anyway, she
So
created.
quick they are to forget.
Yeah, she quit. And I mean, it's so clown-pilled. And you know what? I called her 3 times to apologize for it because I'm a prick sometimes. But fuck, can we get over it or what? I said what I said. No, fuck, I'm sorry. No, I can't guarantee I'm not going to do it again if you're a DFC. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she created a new Twitter account for her election campaign. And blocked me.
Yeah.
I bet you if she blocked 3 people, I was the first one. Don't flatter yourself, Anna. There was hundreds and thousands, and you were the last one. But no, it came into my feed until on the Jim Fannon Live, because that used to be Rock Our Town, and I changed it. I'm on my 4th Twitter, 3rd and 4th accounts right now. Yeah, 3rd and 4th. And so I went over on the Jim Fannon page, blocked. Who creates a new political profile? Like, I don't even chirp her stuff. I never did. I made fun of her on a show like this. Had a couple drinks, and I was loose and hilarious. And I was mocking her Jesus fucking Christ posts. And then I did what I did. And it's funny, I have never put that podcast up on iTunes. I will one day, because it's a classic now. It's one of my best shows. Sure. It's like the show I did on 610 CKTB. I made fun of fucking Grape and Wine for 9 minutes. Carved them. Just no script. Just flipping through the Grape and Wine Festival thing, giving them shit for putting, Flat broke up before the parade ends. Yeah, no, so literally, the parade's still going on, and our best local band is on the stage, and they fired me for it. That's my best work, man. And the Laura Yip skit was fucking pretty funny, and it's some of my best work, and I'm not very proud of it. I should be. But this is what happens, man. They drag you through the
Jim,
mud in the social media, and you get all fucking second guessing, and I'm a bad guy. And I was the most hated man for 45 days in Niagara. I've been there.
You were getting canceled before getting canceled was cool, eh?
Yeah, man. So anyways, I had a good little laugh. I'm like, poor kid. She's got a new campaign account. She's got to block my profile right off the bat. Like, the account's not more than 2 weeks old. Or a month or what. It's not like I look at her all the time, but that she went private anyways. Can't see her tweets.
Yeah. That's like the first day I got back on Twitter. I was like, I haven't even
How long is it going to take for him to find me?
I haven't even looked at what LaFish has said in like a year. Maybe I'll go check. And I go to look at his page. I was already blocked. The day I came on Twitter, he somehow found me and I was blocked.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Well, that's flattering. I love that.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. This guy can just tweet whatever he wants about me, but I'm blocked and I can't see it.
Have you ever had a channel taken down?
Just Instagram.
They took your Insta down, and you're already back to 15K.
Yeah.
That's a pretty nice swing, dude. I don't know what I'm at, like probably 2, if that. So, yeah, well, the last time we did an Instagram Live, you had a fucking shit ton of fucking trolls come in there. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I get to enjoy it now. I put up a Zoom link. Oh, I think it was with you. I made the Zoom link public, and they kept fucking Antifa was dropping in all day. I just figured out how to turn the fucking doorbell off. And I won't do that again, but I turned the doorbell off so that if I ever post a link again, it doesn't go ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. We must have had 50 people come in that room try and fuck with us.
Oh, yeah.
We even tried to take a call.
Really liked me a lot.
They're all like talking, yeah, that's fuck. Well, good for you, man. Keep it up, man. I'm glad they didn't break you. I'm glad you're still fucking hanging in there. I'm glad you had a little bit of a win today. When I get my win, it won't be half as, climactic as like the guys that went before me. But, it's, and I said with Shandor the other day, my father has a great saying. That kid could fuck up a one-car funeral. He never said that about me, but when he was talking about somebody being a Todd, he'd say, that guy could fuck up a one-car funeral. I'm kind of that guy when it comes to court. So the fact that I had to go and get reopenings on both and I called today when I saw Danielle standing with the Constitution today, and I think it was on Facebook. I haven't been going there much. but she was at the top. Maybe you posted it. Yeah, it was your post. Oh, no, I went to your wall.
I think it was Jen.
Oh, I think you're right. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, for whatever reason, Jen came up on my feed today, and I'm like, I'm going to call. So I called, I stayed on, and here's part of the psyop that they run on you, right? I'm calling City Hall, and I'm on hold for 45 minutes trying to get, or not City Hall, provincial offenses or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on hold forever just trying to find out if I got it. And she says, oh, no, it hasn't been dealt with. There's no date yet. And I said, any idea when I should try back? She says, try the end of the month, because if they set a date and you miss it, then, then what happens? How many people have been convicted of this in their absence, I wonder? Or just pled?
Who knows?
Yeah. It's too bad if they did. Especially, can we talk about why this is happening? Like locally, there's one specific reason, right? There's other people nationally that are still going around and around and around in circles. I mean, can we discuss this? Is it public knowledge? Does it even matter? Does it affect my case? Not that I don't know.
What happened with me?
Well, no, because I asked Shandor 2 days ago when I had him on, who signed your ticket? That's all you fucking need to know.
Yeah.
Can you tell that story?
Where I ran into them?
Yeah.
Get the goods out, eh?
Because I really like when I got that message, I'm like, dude, and what you asked me, guess who I just ran into? And I fucking guessed it right off the bat. And you're like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, that's how good I am.
Yeah.
There's
so
no other cases that are jeopardized. And does the leader, Queen number 1, does she have a ticket signed by this individual?
I don't know.
Wow.
I wonder.
She's got some of the same charges we had.
Yeah.
That's got to be an immediate bye-bye.
Yeah, you would
tell that
assume
story.
so,
You can
right?
tell that story. We've really
so,
cock-teased it enough, I think.
We what?
We've cock-teased it enough, I think.
Yeah. So I went to Rose City Pizza, and I ran into the lady who charged me. And what's her name, Jim?
That'd be Michelle Brown. Nice rack, Michelle.
I ran into Michelle
I asked her
Brown,
to come home with me.
and,
She turned me down.
Oh, man. Yeah, I ran into lovely Michelle Brown, and she had a mask on, like, up to here, so I couldn't tell it was her at first. And she said, Robert. And I said, yes.
First of all,
and
no one
said,
calls you Robert.
Yeah, like, my name's Robbie, Primo. No one calls me Robert.
Does your mother call you
I
Robert?
mean,
Does any of your parents call you Robert when they get pissed off
No.
at you or something? Nobody calls you
No.
Robert. Okay, good.
Nobody.
Okay.
So I just kept walking away, and she said, Robert, again. So I turned around, and she goes, do you know who it is? And I said, no. And she put her little mask down, and she said, it's Michelle Brown. And I said, I didn't say anything. I was actually thinking, what in the fuck?
Well, she was being
does
super
this
cool
bitch
with
wanna
you.
Talk to me about?
She was being like your friend, right? Super cool.
Yeah. I'm like, this chick fucking ruined my fucking life. Like, what does she want to talk to me about? Like, are you kidding me? And she's like, I just want you to know that you just got to stick the course, and, that ticket, the person who gave you that ticket, which was her, isn't employed by the region anymore. So if you just go to court and, keep fighting it and hold the line kind of thing, you're going to end up beating it, because I'm not going to show up there. And I'm like, sweet. See you later, Michelle Brown. And then I walked
Smell
away.
you later.
And then she told me not to tell anybody. So the first
course,
thing I did
first thing I
was
did is
call
call
every
everyone I
single
knew.
person who was charged and told them.
She was hiding behind a tree, and I was at the cenotaph, and I'm on my old hood grounds too. Even though it was only a year and a half, I have a real strong attachment to that building, the White House of Rock, right? Like, we had some good times there, man. We did some good shows and had a lot of fun, brought a lot of bands in there. Paige Kopp was one of my first guests. Kid is a fucking stud. Foolproof. She just put out a new song.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
I got to get you on the show. You're always a lift. I tell her I love her every time I see her. I even, tell her mother. I talk to Ma all the time. I'm like, fucking love that kid. Anyway, she was hiding behind a tree at 610, and I parked down Yates Street and walked. Can't remember who I was with. And I saw her, and I wasn't really good at recognizing her. She snuck up on me a few times and always called me by name, and I was always freaked out. And and actually, I was on the air when wasn't her husband killed in the line of duty or something?
Yeah, I think something like that unfortunately happened.
And it was a weird fucking time, man. They were trying to erect They were trying to put up a flag of him, and I think she was against it. Okay. What the fuck? Okay. She said no. Dennis Brown. No, not Dennis Brown. That's my buddy. Fuck, I should know this. Anyways, it was a topic even on the radio show back then. All of a sudden, now she's working for the region? Like, she was a hot topic back then, man. Because she was passionate. She didn't want this thing going up. Now it's all coming back to me. And so, I might have been with Danielle. I can't remember. But she might even identified herself to me or whatever. And then I circled back and I started recording. And I came up on her and I said, hey, she had this fucking telephoto lens. She was like behind a tree taking pictures of everyone at the cenotaph from 75 meters away. Like, it's pretty good. She's a bylaw officer? And
yeah, man. When
we all got the charges, I'm like, well, how did they figure out who was all there and what was going on? Like, Sawchuck was there. I didn't see Michelle Brown. But between them and the cops, they figured out who to charge quite nicely. Anyway,
I got to show you something.
I made some interactions with her, and I recorded it. And then she said something about, hey, go back to your basement dweller or something, whatever. I'm like, yeah, you want to come? You want to come with me? I invited her back to my fucking cellar.
Hey,
she did not take me up on it.
Look at this.
Too bad.
Look at this person who heated me out. This is my disclosure here. Oh wait, we got to get that up there. Can you see it?
I see the comments. You don't get the right. Are you trying to show the picture? Yeah, you get the wrong side of the page up. You trying to show the picture or the comments?
No, I'm trying to show you the name of the person's page it was taken off of.
Oh, Jim Fannon live? Jim Fannon was live.
That's in my disclosure.
Oh,
That's what
yeah?
they're trying to use against me.
Sorry.
Oh, man, so good.
They did the same thing to Gavin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took the guys down, and that's why, like, Joe Biggs had a show on Gavin's network. And Joe Biggs is, he's been in solitary for 16 months. Solitary. No trial. On a trespassing charge of some sort. Now they're hitting him with seditious, whatever, insurrection or something. Like, solitary. Now, Joe Biggs is a military boy. He's a tough. You're not going to break Joe Biggs. Like, he's a fucking man, right? But some of these guys been taken away from their newly born daughters. Proud Boys. One guy's black. No. One guy's married to a black woman, has a half black kid that he hasn't seen. She was yeah, it's fucking sad, man.
It's a
and
shame,
you want to break
what they do to these people.
Oh man, it's unbelievable. For what? Like, really, for what? For Pfizer? For Pfizer?
Right?
Really? That's why we went through this, for Pfizer's stock?
Yeah,
we got guys like
man.
Hirji and all these ministers of health have been playing God and getting paid whacks. Like, Hirji makes more money than fucking Fauci, I think.
Yeah. Hirji was on, man, he was in the paper. My old man told me today, he was on the fucking news today saying that people need to start putting their mask on now because the
monkeypox
outbreak in the fall is going to be like something we never seen before.
Fuck me. It's fucking sad.
Cam's on the news over here saying that
mandatory
it's going to get
quarantine.
real crazy because of the climate change. It's so warm. There's going to be more bugs on animals, and it's going to pass.
Shit.
They're out of their fucking mind.
You got to take the clown pill, man. There's no other way to look at it. Can
Yeah,
you?
it's insane.
Are you allowed to make your disclosure public?
I
Or
hope
is that
so
against
because
the
I
law?
did.
Oh.
From what I understand, it's
It's like it never
after
happened.
court's done.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like it never happened. So it's like you don't have a disclosure. If you want to publish it, you can publish it.
From what I understand, after court's done, it's done. So I'm pretty sure I'm all right to. I didn't put the whole thing out there, but I made that video today and I popped up. I just wanted to show people what they were trying to nail me with. I guess I should probably mention that on your show since we talked about it. So what the whole thing is they wanted me to do is they were trying to get me to plea into $10,000 in charges.
Right, yeah.
And then they were saying, if you plea into this $10,000 in charges, there will be no jail time. So obviously in the back of the head, they want you to think you're going to jail and whatnot.
Fuck.
So that's what they were trying to use. And even my representation was saying to me, maybe you should just take this so it's all done and over with. And I'm like,
Fight the Fines guy was saying that?
Hell I am.
Fight the Fines was doing that?
Yeah, and I'm like, this is Fight the Fines, man. We're fighting the fucking fines. I'm not paying into that.
Go to trial.
Fuck that. You think I did all this shit so I could just bend over and fucking take it? No way.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for you, man. Well, sounds like it's all working out, and somehow we come out of this better than we went into it because we've learned a lot. Well, we can identify the people in our lives that are going to follow anything, anytime the government says anything. And I never want to leave my country.
Yeah.
I'm a patriotic dude. And I put my flag back in my profile after Bernier got up there. I'm like, this is the proudest moment I've ever had. And it wasn't the trucks. The trucks didn't do it for me. The trucks landing there, and there was many of guys like you and friends like you that said, Jimmy, come on. I'm like, no. And then when I saw Bernier and Randy Hillier, I was like, they had all the right answers, man. And I felt this patriotic euphoria.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember being that happy to be Canadian. I put my flag back. I tweeted the shit out of Bernier, and so grateful for guys like you and Bernier and whatever that actually will not change their opinions or principles or morality based on which way the wind blows. And now we know how many people will. And out of all of this, forget the kids are number one, but if we take the kids out of it, the most disheartening thing for me is how many people just went along or shut their mouths. It's really shockingly sad that so many people just said, oh, I'll take the shot.
It is. And look where it's getting us right now with, not to dive into that topic right now, but we've all seen what's gone on in Dallas in the last week or two. And when you just let things happen, they're just going to keep doing whatever they want while you let it happen. The least you can do is speak about it. The least you can do about it is share a post.
Mm-hmm.
The least you can do about it is think it's wrong morally. If you're just going to sit there and say nothing and be silent and comply, you are the problem.
It's hard not to cast judgment on that scourge of society.
It is. It really is. And I catch myself, when I'm passionate or angry or upset, sometimes making, remarks to people on the left like that I wish I didn't make and stuff. But it's like, it's a game. These people come into your inbox and they tell you that they're going to, end your life, and they say things about your family, and they say inappropriate things about your kids. And it's like, it ends up, you can only deflect so much until it builds up, and then you finally explode back. Like, I hate to admit it. I wish I could just never do that, but it happens,
Yeah. Well, I think you're a lot better tempered than you were. And I think, wisdom grows as we grow, and you get more tolerant of the backlash and the bullshit. Like, I mean, oh man, some of the things they said to you when we were doing that Instagram thing, it was kind of heartbreaking, but and then you miss it when it goes away. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm fucking those
It
trolls.
doesn't go away
Those
from
trolls
me,
are
Jim. I
fucking
still
pretty
get it
funny.
in the inbox.
Yeah, well, we're not experiencing it much tonight, so, but I'm not on Insta. I know you're huge on Insta, so it's too bad. Maybe we'll put up some good clips and they can come at us and not in real time.
Exactly.
Anyways, brother, I love you. Thank you for the time. Is there anything else? Hey, I expect that you've got something now in your pocket that after everyone's cleared out, we're only down to 5 viewers now that I can see on my chat bot. You drop something right at the end that'll blow people's mind. They're like, fuck, I should have listened to the end of the Primo interview. I didn't even hear him say that. Like you're expecting or something, or like you're transgendered, or I don't know, something. Drop something.
Jim, I've always been transgender.
Okay, good. Roberta Primo, thank you for your time.
Yeah, that's me right over here. No,
I'm glad to hear you got your gym back, man. Oh, there, on the way out, give me some encouragement, man. My sciatic is killing me. The scoliosis has gone to a point, and I think it's all muscular because it's just look at the way I'm sitting. See, my shoulders up. I'm favoring my right hip, and I'm hurting. And every time, well, I got off the other day because I searched sciatic stretches, do's and don'ts, and it's so much garbage on the internet. And everything I was doing, stretching wise, hamstrings and gluteus and all this, they're like, no, don't do that. That's gonna fuck you off. I'm trying to walk 3 to 5 to 10 kilometers a day, even though it hurts. So give us some. How do you keep the motivation and the discipline to stay fit? Because, dude, like, I got kite surfing down the street. Now, I've never, but I know I won't be able to walk for 2 days if I do once in the water. I go in the water for 10 minutes, I'll be fucked the next day. So give us some inspiration on how to get and stay active for your health, because I'm fucking hurting, man. I
take all that fucking anger that people make me and all this shitty thing that's going on in this fucking world, and I go work out in that garage or at the gym, because if I don't, I'll get myself in fucking trouble. Literally, I have to. It's just the way it is right now. It's the way the world works. You got to take all this shit and turn it into something good. That's all I do. Push through the pain and just do it.
I love you, brother. Thanks for the time.
I love you too, man.
I got all your links up in the show description so people know where to find you.
Perfect.
We need to talk some more, even if it's offline. I know, the last couple months I've been noticing that everyone's been real quiet. And then I'm glad Shandor came back to Twitter. That's been healthy because he's brought the receipts hard, and he's still just trampling them every day. You cannot get nothing past that kid. Nothing. You can't get nothing. You can't get anything past that kid. He's bright, and he's got the receipts on everything.
Yeah,
so I share your happiness about him being back on Twitter. And somehow we need to find a way to stay connected and keep the brotherhood alive while we go through what we're continuing to go through, even though I want you to kind of celebrate this small victory in your own way, because you've earned it. And sad as it is that we all had to go through it in different ways. Can't even believe I'm saying that. I'm just a guy. I'm just the guy who talks. So what the fuck? How'd I get lumped in with you fucking agitators? Freedom fighters. We got a whole group of them down here in Dominican. Dude,
that's awesome.
Oh, fuck. They got a couple different groups. And you know what? My buddy Mike Blocker sent me an invite the other day. I said, because I tend to isolate, right? And I've continued it down here, even though I've got the whole, it's beautiful, And he sent me this thing about the freedom fighters was getting together. And I should have gone. You know, it was Sunday at 3:00. I wasn't doing anything. And I just texted him back. I didn't even look at the time of the date. It says freedom,
It's like, fuck it.
Freedom Fighters Unite. I think of the couple people, and I texted him back. I'm like, looks like a good place to meet a crazy chick. And he goes, I'm going for sure then. And then he went, and he goes, dude, fuck, you should have gone. And I went, I should have looked at the time. I wasn't even doing anything. I have no life other than real estate and food. Like, that's it, you know? So, yeah, we gotta find a way to keep the momentum and I don't know, somehow get some of these guys that you're talking about to run for school trustee. More than ever now, we need good, strong men on the trustee board. You know, a thankless job that nobody wants to do, but the easiest thing to get elected to. And when I had Vez on here the other day, he said, you want to make a difference? Email campaign. Email your guy every day. Because they get 1, they get 2, they get 3, they get 4, they get 5, nothing. They get 6, a report gets made. They get a dozen, they escalate the report to they get 2 dozen, they get 100. They get 100 every day. Sooner or later, there's a policy. I'm like, what? Vez ain't no dummy. And I couldn't believe he told me, email your MP, email your all of them at every level, and get your friends to do the same. I'm like, it's pretty good advice, actually. So, yeah, anything when you're talking about guys that you know that are running for positions like that, school board trustee. Now that I'm talking about it, one of the easiest things to do, one of the easiest things to get elected to, and one of the easiest things to make a difference. You want to talk about making a difference, you got to run locally. You got to run for city councilor. As much as I'm encouraging certain people right now to run for mayor, I think you know a couple good candidates, especially in St. Catharines. I'm not going to name them now because, I don't want to do that, but I've been
mentioning that to those people too.
There's a lot of talk about Mike Britton running. I think that's fascinating. There's a lot of people that are running anti-Cisco campaigns in St. Catharines, and he was supposed to be the mail-in, shoe-in. Like, I made a deal with Walter. He was going to run for a third term, and I was going to be the... Fuck off.
As long as they let me ask them a question while I'm recording, it's okay. I know Walter didn't like that.
At least Walter gave you that. Cisco probably wouldn't. Fat Cisco. Good luck, Fat Cisco. Here's the end of your career, Fat Cisco. You run for mayor, you're done from politics. Period. Predictions in. Just like Andy Gill. He got out of fucking municipal politics where he had a voice and was doing a good job and was making the news and getting some shit pushed. Well, he was McMullen's lapdog, but whatever. And he ran for provincial and he got the shit kicking. No, he ran for, what was Dykstra? Federal? Yeah, he ran to beat Dykstra and got lost out and lost his seat on the board. And that's exactly what happened to Fat Cisco. And I like Matt. He was a good guy. But I do not want that guy for mayor. So, you hear any good rumors for city council or region or mayor? Any good candidates? Any interesting? Is Bob Gale out now? He decided not to run.
I don't know what's going on with that exactly.
I think he's not running.
Yeah, I haven't really paid too much attention locally.
Yeah, well, you need to find out when the deadline is for that. And there's no real financial benefit to running municipally because you can't give any tax receipts for that. But yeah, do your part to encourage guys to run for school board trustee. Or counselor. Some of these guys have got some momentum and got a voice and got some prominent,
Yeah, we will. We gotta. There's the one thing I didn't mention either is there's a really cool community going around here now in Niagara that these girls created. I should actually probably hook you up with the one lady, Lori, who started it. You could probably have her on one night. You guys would have a good conversation. It's cool to see, man. They do a lot of things for kids.
It's all good.
You still here?
Yeah. What are you getting?
Sorry, they do a lot of cool things, for kids and like the bouncy castles and magic shows.
Who's
and all
this
that
now?
kind
Sorry, I
of
missed
stuff.
who you're talking about.
Her name's Lori Buma.
Okay.
Now, when everybody was in Ottawa for the convoy when it started, and it started gaining traction, and everyone was streaming it, and it was going everywhere, she wanted to do something, but she couldn't be in Ottawa, so she said, "Well, we're going to do a convoy around Niagara with flags on our cars and whatever.
Okay.
Beep the horns and that." So she did that, and I guess she just put it on the internet as a status. Why don't a couple of us meet in the parking lot and do this? So she went to do it, and 150 cars showed up. So she's like, "Well, do you guys want to do this tomorrow?" They wanted to do it tomorrow. So now they just, every week, they were starting to meet at Husky Truck Stop in the Niagara on the Lake.
Shit.
And it was just getting busier and busier and busier. And like now they have a wicked convoy every week.
Really?
Through Niagara region. Yep. Then people stop at like, what's that in St. Catharines where you go under the bridge and then there's a Walmart there and a A&W. I don't know. Anyways, Home Depot, I think.
Yeah.
Chapters.
Well, no.
Oh, by the Fairview. That's what it is. The Fairview.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. My edible kicked in. Over by the Fairview Mall there. Everyone parks in there. And, everyone has a good time. There's some Mr. Freedom usually plays some music.
What,
People will
dude,
grab a microphone.
Lord Freedom is one of my favorite cats. Like,
oh, man.
that character
hilarious.
he plays of Joshy the Blowman and whatever, and like apparently he doesn't do that shit. Like, I know he loves his beers, but he's not the drug addict that he plays, and I think it's fucking hilarious. He's one of my better shows with Joshy the Blowman.
Yeah, and all these lefties go nuts on the internet for him too, eh? Like on Twitter, they're like, "I don't know how this man can be working his job legally and be insured, but he's drinking and doing drugs the whole time and blah blah." And I'm like,
It's a
thinking in my
gag,
head,
you
like,
losers.
You guys don't even know this guy. Like he's actually not like that at all. Like he's just, it's all
He plays the
literally a
part
skit
well,
for his
man.
show.
That long hair and those green eyes, man. And he's just out. I wish I could be that uninhibited,
He's got a lot of energy, that guy.
Yeah, hilarious. And talented, too. And video?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, and he can play. Anyways, brother.
Man.
Okay, that's a good time to cut it. We're almost at, and I tried to see if putting my broken glasses on gives me the magnification. We're almost hit 2 hours, man. We got to stretch it out to fucking 8 more minutes. Anyways, no. Love you, bro. That was a good fucking conversation. I'm glad we got caught up.
Yeah, you too, man.
And so what if we have to do it publicly? It's no big deal. There's
Yeah,
nothing,
yeah, yeah.
I don't need to call you anymore. I don't need to call you well, maybe I'll call you tomorrow anyway. Just say what's up.
Yeah, no, we can do this anytime you want, man.
Yeah, it's been a good chat. I appreciate your time. So with that,
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
get the fuck off my screen. I'm out of here. End meeting for all? No, I can't do that. No, you just leave. You go.
Okay, buddy.
You hang up.
Peace.
You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. And that is how you do that. Rob Primo, thank you, my brother. Maybe I should play some shit before we get out of here. And if you wonder, see, I'm still dry. Relatively. It's not too bad in here. Fucking 8 hours running the air conditioner. Air conditioner. Johnny used to call me that in grade 8. Fannon was air conditioner. Okay. Let's hit some Rob Primo. TikTok. I don't want that. I want his tiki-taki. The contacts are in the show description below. Below me or above me. What the fuck, Primo? Put a shirt on. What do you think you are, like Chris Sky? Sky doesn't do shirt. No, Chad? You think you're Chad Lantanzio? Fucking, you doing all your videos with no shirt now, Preems? You and Chad been hanging out fucking way too much, bro.
inclusive Canada for
By the way, Chad is ripped, and it's not fair that he has a fucking body like that, even though he's, he's not 6'4".
So we could do more TikTok dances together. This is never gonna happen with a conservative provincial government. This is terrible.
Oh, fuck, that's weak.
Here you go. We got local Liberal MP from Niagara Centre, Vance Badaway. On June 6th, the Government of Canada recognizing the outstanding contributions of our veterans and the fallen. Well, how do they recognize them, Vance? I'm dying to know. Do they recognize them by telling state-funded media that they cannot cover a veteran who's been marching since February?
Good
almost
job, Primo.
5,000 kilometers across the entire country? Is that how they recognize them?
Good job, Primo. Put a fucking shirt on. Fuck
So in my opinion, I think it's totally
That's
unacceptable for a man to dress up in a female's lingerie,
Primo.
parade around and dance sexually for little children.
Oh, see, now you put little
So
children in
yesterday,
the
the
end.
leader of our country went on.
I disagreed with the first part until you said little children, okay? You want to dance, you want to dress up. I don't care what you do. Just leave me the fuck alone. Then you say the kids, then now you got me.
Camera and said that we are all Muslim in Canada. Now, I like Muslims a lot. I got a lot of good...
What? Who said what? What the fuck is going on here? I'm confused.
Muslim in Canada.
No, what?
Now,
Who said that?
So yesterday, the
hang
leader
on.
of our country...
What the fuck? Primo.
So yesterday, the leader of our country went on camera and said that we are all Muslim in
What
Canada.
the fuck? When did this tard
Now,
say
I like
that?
Muslims a lot. I got a lot of good friends that are Muslim, but
Yeah, fuck.
I'm not a Muslim. I like to keep it pretty traditional. I have some old school values. I like it when my girlfriend cooks dinner for me.
Me too.
She does the
I
dishes.
don't have a girlfriend.
I cut the grass.
Yeah, I
bring
take out the garbage.
to the curb.
Yeah.
It works out pretty good.
I rub her
for us.
feet.
Whatever, call me what you want. At least I'm not playing lingerie dress up for little children.
Primo. I fucking love it.
Federal public sector unions say jab mandate now is unreasonable. This is one that I called a long time ago and said would be coming down the pipeline for sure. And I literally said to everybody, just hold the line on this one. This day will come for sure. So quickly, a couple different things on this one. This is going to end up being not just for federal workers, not just for police officers. This one's going to trickle down, and they're not going to be able to make this happen in one workplace and not all the other ones. So what's going to happen is these people who were off work and weren't getting paid, your company that you work for is going to end up owing you a retroactive pay to the date that they put you off. Not only are they going to do that, but every single person needs to hold their union responsible. If you brought this request forward and it was ignored, like it was in most workplaces, this is complete discrimination. And now they're admitting that they played their role in discrimination by not sticking up for you. So this is misrepresentation by your union. So you need to treat it like that, and you need to make sure that not only you go after your employer, but you go after the union for misrepresenting you as well. They've been following the money the whole time, so now it's time for you to follow the money and go get it.
Primo.
Federal public sector union. Is this the world you want for your children? One where you go to use the bathroom and they have to take the top off the toilet so people can't sniff lines off of it?
Oh, man. What am I going to do with my rips? I got a
You
key.
have to explain to them what that is.
Oh, fuck.
Is that what you want for your kids?
Oh, for fuck's sakes, man. Let them do
Is
rips.
this the world you want for your children? One where you go to use the bathroom and they have to take the top off the toilet so people can't sniff lines off of it? And then when you go to wash your kids' hands, you have to explain to them what that is.
Wow. Primo, you're the man.
Muslims in Canada.
What?
We are all.
What the fuck, bro? You're Catholic. You're an idiot. Primo, put a shirt on. I'm embarrassed.
It's 2022. What's
Fucking
going
got
on?
a nice body,
Well,
though.
let me tell you what's going on. It's almost impossible.
Oh, no, I can't do that one. Oh, this is fucking... Primo, you're the man. Fuck me. Okay, groomer. Fuck, this is insidious.
This is ridiculous.
I am disappointed
This
to not have
fucking
been
clown.
successful here in my home community. My
Stephen
home riding
Del
of Vaughan
Duca,
Woodbridge.
you're a fucking idiot.
And I just wanna
What
say
the,
again,
you
I
didn't
have no
promise
doubt
enough
the women-
subway stations?
Okay, guys, the only good thing about the election tonight that you can see forecasted in the future is that the people in this country do not like or support the Liberal Party anymore in Canada.
Except Justin Trudeau gets reelected with another majority government if an election was held today. Dominion voting machines.
Okay, that is clear as day. So breaking news, the Conservatives, who aren't actually conservative, have secured their spot.
Transfer or import handguns anywhere.
Oh, this
in
is going to
Canada.
do nothing, eh?
In other words,
What a fucking
we're
goof
capping the
this
market
is.
for handguns.
This is a fucking clown right here. If I ever fucking... Oh. Primo, nice extra. Outro? What do you call that? Dude, I'm going to fucking
Transfer
play mine.
or import.
Let me see if I can find this. I stopped playing. Do I have this? It's an AVI? That is a classic extra. What happened? Click. Okay. What happened? What happened? Who was that? Is that Dean Blundell that did with the what happened? Should not be doing that. If it is. Fuck. I'm getting distracted. I feel bad. I feel inferior now. Did I remove it from my files? Oh, I fucking deleted it. That's too bad. Oh well. Fuck you then.
Import handguns.
Shut up, you flaming fucking
Progressive
freak.
pride flag raised around Hamilton for Pride Month. In 2018, new stripes were added, black and brown, represent the indigenous people and people of color.
Okay.
The pink, baby blue, and white represent the trans community.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to preach inclusion and talk about inclusive communities where all people belong, I would like to point out that there is a spot on this flag
For the hetero?
for every single person of every single cultural aspect except for white people.
No, the hetero.
Okay?
No, hetero.
This is done by design on purpose.
No, I don't need
There's
a
a
white
reason
thing.
that white people are left out,
I get it.
and it's wrong.
I want a hetero.
In 2022, if you can't recognize that we're finally at a time where all lives matter, then you don't understand what the
Rob.
system is doing to us.
You can't
and
say
you don't
that,
understand what the
Rob.
system has done to us this entire time.
Can't green
To
screen
cause
that shit
the
shirtless,
division
dude.
it has. And to
Dude, you
breed
can't
hate that
green
it has.
screen a shirtless thing
It's
where you talk about
2022.
white people. That's not
All
right. You're
lives
white.
matter.
You can't say all lives matter, Brob.
Progressive pride
Brob?
flag raised around Hamilton
I
for
think I call
pride.
him. Did I just call him Brob? Brob. You and me got to talk. You can't say white lives matter, but I insist, as a purely heterosexual human being, I demand to be represented. Dumb fucks.
Police have told its rank and file members that blank mandates that saw hundreds suspended without pay for non-compliance will be withdrawn as of June 21st. Police and civilians will be going back to work More to come.
What about the air
You see
traffic
that right
controllers
there?
and the pilots?
Typically working in the prairies, and I expect many legal gun owners there are going to say that this legislation is too far-reaching,
You're a
that it
fucking
punishes
goof.
them, that
Fuck,
it goes
I can't
too
even
far
watch this
generally.
piece of
How do you
shit.
respond? Canada says legally.
No.
Canada presently manages a grossly deficit
I love when
military
the
force
Indian
today.
people report
Military
on
spending
Canada.
has been kept at a bare minimum for several years, and programs to boost defense expenditure too have been inordinately
I don't know what this is.
delayed. In his mind, Trudeau
Indian
probably got
news
assured
media
of Ottawa's
fucking gets it.
long-time
Like, how
alliance
can
with
they get
Washington, D.C. The Canadian leadership was perhaps assured that if push comes to shove, the U.S. military will come to its rescue. A delusional Trudeau kept living in the Cold War era when NATO used to be an assurance of national security. However, the Ukraine war has proved that you can have a working relationship with the US and still get invaded. On top of its military woes, Canada decided to ship most of its military equipment to Ukraine following the Russian invasion. It shipped huge quantities of ammunition to Ukraine, including 4,500 M72
God.
rocket launchers and 7,500 hand
Listen,
grenades.
how fucking sad is it that we need international media? I don't even, Indian whatever, like,
tactical aircraft, $25 million worth
oh,
of helmets.
fuck
body
me.
armor,
We can't
gas
get our
masks,
own media to
cameras,
report any of this unless it's Rebel News, but even Rebel News isn't picking this up.
gear were also donated to the Volodymyr Zelensky administration.
Fuck.
Early into the war,
Who is
Canada's
this girl?
defense
How do I find out
minister
who this
Anita
is?
Anand declared
Canada says legally.
Oh.
Canada presently manages a grossly deficit military force today. Military
Somebody
spend-
needs to tell me who this girl is and what network it is.
The Liberal government has announced that in 2023, possession of small amounts of hard drugs, including heroin, cocaine, and meth, will be decriminalized.
Okay, I'm all for the legalization of drugs because if the government produces it, at least you know it's safe. And if you have to buy it from the government and you're a fucking junkie, guess who the first line of defense or offense, when you go to buy your shit and you got a problem, somebody should be there to take care of you. Offer you treatment while you're buying your fix. I'm all for it. But this is not what legalization looks like. This is decriminalization. Well, first, you take all their guns, and then you let them stay high. Oh, fuck. High people don't vote.
I've seen this in his playbook before. Remember when marijuana used to be illegal in our country and all of a sudden he jumped up and said, I will legalize marijuana. And he got every single stoner off the couch who's never voted before to vote for him, simply so they could continue smoking weed that they would have smoked either way.
Hey, wait. I'm a stoner. I didn't vote for this fucking sock puppet.
So now what? You put our country in the biggest mental health crisis of our time, and now you're going to talk about decriminalizing drugs? I wonder why. You think maybe this guy wants you all to continue on doing drugs and sleepwalking through life while you continuously comply with his orders? I wonder if that's why.
Nice
This
job,
is so
Primo.
much bigger than a virus.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
Because I'm trying to on a grassroots level wake people about the testing and try to get them just on to open about this. Like once you convince someone, like, okay, there's so many flaws in the virus. Okay, then we zoom out, big picture.
Right.
You know, if you get the big picture, everything else will follow. So why is this happening on a global scale? Because that's what we have to ask ourselves. Why is this happening on a global scale? We are literally at a war foot. Because I like to just be with my family and relax and pretend like nothing's happening. But in my soul, I know there is a war foot happening.
I agree.
We are at a war foot that involves you, all of us. That's why it's important. I don't care if you're left or right, black, white, Asian, gay, whatever you want to say. We need to come together as Americans and realize that we have a war at hand here, and our freedoms are about to be lost. Freedom isn't safe, but it's the safest thing we have. And we need to come together and realize that this fight involves our children.
So I realized that my Telegram is open and it's making noises in the background. Oops. Probably shouldn't do that. Who cares? So you see who I follow on Telegram. Yeah, a Gavin McInnes fan. That's a shocker. Excuse me. There he is. Happening now, marching into Sault Ste. Marie. This is the last turn before we are going straight east to Ottawa. This guy's been walking since Vancouver. You know we're getting close to that date. Check your vehicle maintenance so you can drive to Ottawa for June 30th and July 1st. Man, this show's fucking hitting on all cylinders tonight, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Nice job, Primo. What the fuck, man? Okay, so, well, fuck, I guess we gotta show this
Hey
one
guys,
too.
I've always dreamt of the day that I could make this video and put it out there for you. Some of you who've been following me long before the trucker convoy and
He's got a
kind of
shirt
towards
on.
the start of this stuff, you'll probably remember when I got these.
Okay, so first of all, I want to tell you how fucking, what a pain in the ass it is to make anything like these videos. And I refuse to give a guy props that points at things. Because that's what girls do on TikTok. This is Telegram. Don't point at things, Rob. Stop being shirtless and stop pointing on things, pointing at things on your TikTok. It's gay. Stop it. Fuck.
When I got these. When I got these. And when I got those.
It's actually a good video.
So, I'll let my lawyer explain how this happened.
We already saw that.
Yeah, so Robert attended.
This is classic. Oh, so maybe this isn't new. Am I still on the Instagram? Or, sorry, the Telegram? Yeah, so this is a little dated. James Top. Canada marches.
Morning, everyone. It's June the 8th.
That looks like a Proud Boys flag.
We are beginning the day in Gooley River, where we left off yesterday.
Wow, dude, what up?
we are
Did you co-opt the fucking wings of Proud Boys? Oh, I turned the volume down.
Morning, everyone. It's June the 8th.
Okay,
day
I gotta see this.
109. Here we are.
You know what, the Proud Boys, man. Proud Boys are a funny bunch. Let's see. Fuck. Dude fucking ripped the Proud Boys logo. Stand back and stand back and stand by. Remember when Trump said that? What the fuck, dude? I'm proud of you, man. What are you doing? Wow. Fuck, I didn't think he was that based.
Hey guys, I've always dreamt of the day that I could...
Yeah, fuck, we saw it. No, what happened? Where'd I go? Oh, we gotta go back here. Canada marches. Who's...
Morning, everyone. It's
Well, no wonder you're getting fucking slammed in the media. V for F. Veterans for Freedom. Wow. Good for you, man. James Top. He co-opted the Proud Boys. Huh? What the fuck? Do I got an eye? Or what? Huh? Nice job, man. Only because, okay, so I'm not even going to tell you why. Western chauvinists. Freedom to the end.
June the 8th, day 109. Here we are beginning the day in Gooley River, where we left off yesterday. And this morning we are marching in to
Wow,
Sault Ste.
this
Marie
is
and through
fucking sad.
2 points beyond, namely Sudbury, and we expect to be in Sudbury.
Sad, not
in and
because
around the middle of
this is
next
a man
week.
you're looking at right here, but sad that this guy's got to do something. Look at the price of gas. 216.9. Holy shit. Holy shit. In Dominican Republic,
it's $5 a gallon, and it's gone up 20 cents, 20 pesos a gallon in 8 months.
On the 14th to the 15th, where we'll be doing a little meet and greet with the folks of Sudbury. So a little bit down the road for us. This morning, however, I am going to listen to some personal accounts that you have sent in to me to take to Ottawa, because this is part of the mission of Canada March is to, and to any and all of you who may be listening, I am in Gooley River, Ontario. So if you need to catch up with me, that's where I am. And the reason why we are doing this is to protest against mandates that federal government workers and others are required to have some sort of medical procedure before they can be gainfully employed or paid. So I'm going to listen to some personal accounts, and those are the things that we are also taking with us to Ottawa, so I can highlight to our representatives in the government.
This is a straight up fucking man right there, I can tell you that much.
So with that being said, I'm going to start listening, and you guys can listen along.
Wow. Fuck, thank you, bro. Wow. I'm not going to cry. Fuck me. Alright, I'm getting out of here. This is fucking tugging hard at me. Look at this fucking guy.
Okay, I think we'll call it a day here. 11 hours, pretty much.
What the fuck, man? This is breaking my heart.
48.6 as of right here. So that's it. That's all. The end of day 108.
Nobody
We are
covering this
here
guy.
in sunny Gooley River, and I
Wow.
mispronounced it earlier, but nobody.
Prayers for James Tops. James Top. Wow. That is a fucking man if I've ever seen one. Heart-wrenching. Wow.
Morning, everyone. It's June the 7th. We're here with some mosquitoes outside of Botswana Bay, and we are heading
Sorry,
towards
kids.
Sault Ste.
I gotta
Marie
get
on
out of here.
Point
Fuck it.
Good
Life's
day
too short.
yesterday.
I'm gonna go down and see if George is still open for 45 minutes. I think I'm gonna walk down to George's Oasis bar. I haven't been. Man, it's been a month and a half. When did slow season start?
I just want to give a shout out to the folks here at the Chicken Shack.
First week of June now. It's got to be 30 days or more since I hung out with George, so I think Glennie's working tonight. So, wow. Fucking exhausted. Good show, Primo. Appreciate you, man. Love you. Thank you for introducing us to, reminding us about James Top. It's fucking heartbreaking with this guy. CanadaMarches.ca. Jesus. Help us. Jesus, you know what? Jesus is coming back sooner than you think, kids. The end is near. Repent. I'm out. right now. No, I'm not going to drive the bike down. Fuck that. I'm walking. It's too hot to walk. Now I'm out. Fuck you. See you later.